So, a rapist who who was an inmate who killed his accuser after being released from jail. Like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as that ID Go app. You might want to get those two things combined and make them into one. And I'm a Discovery influencer. That's indeed a fact. So, once again, a rapist who was an inmate, right? He killed his accuser after being released from jail because of the coronavirus. Uh, he was one of those inmates that was released because of the coronavirus to prevent the spread and the rest in the jail, right? Inmates have in fact been released because of the virus, right? To prevent the spread in the jails, right? So 33-year-old Ibrahim was in a relationship with 31-year-old Carla E. Dominguez, and a violent altercation developed between Ibrahim and Dominguez, right? That incident that occurred, right, the violent altercation, right, that went down, it was in fact in the accuser's apartment. The accuser told police that Ibrahim broke into her apartment, right, and raped her, which led to him being charged with 6 felony counts. He turned himself in, right? He did, in fact, turn himself in. But the interesting part is the release being, these criminals being released from jail and then killing their accusers. Think about that. A deadly disease such as coronavirus is helping inmates to be released, and then they kill their accusers, right? That's dangerous in itself, right? So the coronavirus helped to postpone all trials, right? He was held in jail without bond. Ibrahim was ordered to have no contact with his accuser once the judge agreed to set a bond. The judge also ordered him not to leave his home. Of course, once again, he killed his accuser. He was charged by police and then killed himself. The ending was tragic in itself, as in it is. You rape somebody, you go to jail, right? You charge, and then the police close in on you, and then you kill yourself, right? That's to say, he couldn't face what all he had did, as even he had run-ins with authorities pertaining to drinking and driving, right? Criminal history, which is why you don't release inmates, as in you need to find something else to resolve that sort of situation of what to do with inmates when there's a pandemic. You shouldn't just release them, because to know that angerness, bitterness, and feuds, as in a feud, led to him going to jail, is to say there's animosity and bitterness, yeah, right, that awaits once he's released on the outside. The average person, I really can't see, depending on their mindset, to rape somebody. I'm against that type of activity, right? But if a man is violent, that's to say the bitterness is going to come out when he comes out, as in going back to the place of residence of where all went down, and possibly ending a life in which did happen, right? Yeah. So, what risks do pandemics pose for innocent citizens if and when inmates are released during pandemics like the coronavirus? What does that's a problem in itself. I can't see that not being a problem. Inmates being released, I'm saying. That's why I keep calling that out, right? That is in fact a issue, because to say that a person committed crimes, right, and they committed the crimes more recent, right, to commit a crime, say a rape or anything else, or beat somebody with a gun or something like that, and then be released right after you did that, right? Is to say you're gonna turn right back around and more likely go kill or something after, because it's too soon. It's not like you were in jail, right? You've been there for about 4 or 5, well, prison, I say, more prison, right? You go to prison, you're there 4 or 5 years, and then they say we're gonna release some people, right? This person has been here, yeah, because usually the more intense the crime is, the more intense the time is, right? And so, which is why he was released, because rape is in fact bad, and yet it's not as bad. Some will feel it's not as bad as murdering somebody, right? And yet it could even lead to that, as in, yeah. Well, I'm saying this because based off of who's released, based upon who's released sooner than others, right? They say, well, this person, their crime is not as bad as, say, this other individual, which is why the other individual is serving more time and we released him, right? And yet you never even know, as in, who's to say? The person that's released more sooner, who hasn't been in jail that long, could be more deadly than somebody that's serving 25 years or 30 years in prison, right? There's people that serving 20 to 30, right? Some of those people might in fact did certain crimes, such as stuff that has stuff to do with money or anything like that, right? They could have did any type of crime, and yet the crime might not have been as bad as, say, somebody that's doing less time, right? Yeah. Trust and believe, because the judge and all them more than likely was thinking, well, he's less, less of a criminal, so we're gonna release him. And then turn right around and notice that he murdered his accuser, right? Yeah. Because you never know a person's mindset once they go in, and you never know a person's mindset once they come out, which is why it's best to keep criminals locked up. Not saying allow criminals to suffer in jail, and yet that's in fact why they're there. People fail to understand and analyze with that. Well, you don't want criminals suffering amongst, because I've heard people take up for even criminals. Well, they're behind jail and you don't want them to suffer or get the coronavirus. That's why they're there. Because if they're harming people and raping people in society, they're harming people already. To harm somebody is to do the time for the harm that you caused amongst others, right? That's why issues like this more than likely will keep continuing, because people hold sympathy for all the wrong people. That he's a failure in life, yeah, he just was before he killed himself, right? That's more than likely why he killed himself. He was indeed a failure in life, right? And so you don't feel sympathy for those type of people, because they will continue to, kill people. Be released, come out, kill their accuser, and then that will be that, right? Walk off. And then what if police or authorities wouldn't have found out he killed his accuser? That makes better sense, right? To keep them locked away. What if police would have never found out this man was the killer of his accuser? This could have happened any type of way, right? He could have killed the woman that accused him, right? And then walked away, and then she would be one of those individuals which would have ended up a cold case. And he just will be freely walking around. That's why who don't know that sort of thing? As in, they weren't able to think that far, the system itself, right? I don't feel sympathy for criminals all like that, because I don't know what they might in fact do to you or I, right? That's just the way that it go. You never know, right? Because if he was willing to rape as and be violent and rape, right? That's a say. Death could have stood in that for another female because of the violence and then the rape, right? People have been known to kill and raping, right? Not everybody, they common sense is lacking even in the justice system. Uh yeah. So that yeah, because everybody becomes in society, everybody becomes at risk, right? Once inmates are released from jail. They just do. We all do. Because a criminal might not be thinking to do certain things out, a rapist might not be thinking to do certain things once out. And that's the thing that makes it so bad. Because see, to be a criminal, right? A rapist and be violent or commit any type of crimes and then serve a little bit of time in jail and then be released, that's to say that individual more likely will commit more crimes because remember, they were released. That's what makes it so dangerous. And now they're committing even more and more and possibly killing people in the process. This man, more likely, or anyone of him or anybody else that was released from jail, they will be thinking in their mind possibly, well, I was released. They didn't make me serve all the time that I should. They didn't make me stay. So I'm going to go out here and I'm going to be killing people or become a serial killer or something because I got away with it anyway, right? People thinking with the justice system, why wouldn't they know that sort of thing? You're putting in a person's mind that it was okay for them to rape and beat on a woman and then now to release him. Now he's feeling all like, well, yeah, I'm the SHIT, I'm the shit because I was released, right? Now I can do anything. Because see, what that does is releasing criminals like that makes them believe that they're above the law. And the judge should have known that. That doesn't. I'm not even a judge, and I'm able to see that. That will more likely make a individual or criminal feel that they're way above the law, because the law allowed them to get out and didn't serve the time. The law didn't make them or force them to serve the time, as in to stay behind. That's the point of going to jail or to prison, right? That's in fact what that man sensed that he was. That's why he killed her. He felt in a sense that he was above the law. I just answered that. He in fact felt that he was above the law. Because to take a human life in the way that he did for raping her and beating her, right, before going into jail, right, is to say he felt he was above the law. And he possibly felt he was above the law even before he raped her and beat her. The system, and all the rest need to change with even that. You're releasing people that feel that they're above the law. So, dear viewers, let me know what you think about this video. Yeah, because see, when I first heard that, when the coronavirus first came through, as in swooped through in on us, right, across the world, and when I heard people were being released, right, when I heard inmates were being released, I kept sensing, well, this is going to be a problem, right? Other people didn't agree with me. Well, that's not really a problem. Yeah, yes it is. You don't think that criminals being released is a problem? Because what that does is, once again, it creates a repeated offender. You just told them they were above the law, and that's why they're more likely a repeated offender. How you hear people, they went to jail, now they going back. That's one of those type of things. That's why you don't Yeah, that's why you don't release it. Yeah, because I was like, that's the most stupidest. When somebody was talking to me about that, they was like, such and such was released. And I'm like, well, who is that? Right? But when I heard it too on the radio, right? I'm thinking to myself, that's got to be the most worst of the worst. As in, that's a horrible indeed conclusion with even that sort of thing. It has to be. Because a criminal mind doesn't change, it stays the same. Some people say, well, I'm a born again religious person, or I'm born. Well, I wouldn't even know, but to commit a crime and not, it hasn't been years. It hasn't taken years before you change, right? How some people commit crimes and then next thing you know, years down the line they change, right? I can get it and understand it somewhat, and yet this man wasn't even in jail that even that long, right? Not enough time to change anything. So we're on investigationdiscovery.com. The ID logo stands in the far left corner right here. Live now, someone you thought you knew. New episodes. To gain access, you gotta provide who you're subscribed to. Sign in here to gain access with that sort of thing. Unlock episodes. To receive an audio visual preview is a click the play button right here. Recommended for you. Shouts out to Lieutenant Joe Kenda as well as Paula. ID Go original series. That's gonna be amazing when everything goes online. I'm saying all the TV shows and all the rest, which is why you got streaming and all the rest, right? Discovery has more streaming services, Discovery Plus and all the rest is out and coming out, right? Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see everything revolutionized from regular TV, standard TV sets to online on your phone watching TV shows as in the future as we go, right? To receive a newsletter from Investigation Discovery, to type your email address in and click next. And that's all for today, dear viewers. May you enjoy your day. Let me know what you think and feel about the video. May you enjoy your day, and I will in fact enjoy mine.